What's up, everybody? I am back with another Geeky Stoics reaction video. This one talking about K-pop Demon Hunters. My number one favorite movie of 2025, but also probably easily maybe in my top 10, if not in my top 5 favorite films of all time, if I'm not including kind of superhero films, which this could easily qualify as a superhero film, more so anime technically. But yeah, I'm curious to know what he has to say. It's like the secret to K-pop Demon Hunters' greatness, because they blew up the world all 2025, getting to 2026 even. Uh, but before I continue, please do me a huge favor: follow Geeky Stoics channel as well as check out my content. Links in the description below, as my like my YouTube channel and Twitch, as I stream video games, react to videos, as well as review many content on the channel. So without further ado, let's get on to K-pop Demon Hunters' greatness.
Have a villain who made one selfish decision a long time ago, is damned for an eternity, regrets the choice that he made, and feels so much shame that he's disassociated from his past identity, and encounters a hero who sees something good in him, which allows that discarded identity to be reborn once again in an act of redemption. Of course, I'm not just talking about Genu of K-pop Demon Hunters, but also Darth Vader. Watching K-pop Demon Hunters for the first time, it struck me that Genu is in almost every way a beat-for-beat recreation of Anakin Skywalker underneath the armor of Darth Vader. In that similarity lies a lesson about the positive role empathy can play in bringing lost souls back to the light and offering believable redemption arcs on screen. The original sin for Anakin was his inability to give up control over externals.
You're not all-powerful.
Well, I should be.
His fear about losing Padme drives him to commit atrocities in the hope of gaining new power in a deal with the devil. Of course, he ends up being the one to cause Padme's death, and in the fallout...
Fun fact. Let me go back here. That moment with that kid, I'm pretty sure it's pretty much well known at this point, but it's a crazy fun fact that I know now about this, where this kid did not know what was going to happen in this particular scene. So, what Hayden Christensen did to get that jump scare for that kid when he allowed that lightsaber, it's like go boo and make that kid just jump, and it kind of add to perfect timing with the lightsaber igniting. So it's like, oh my god, it's kind of not dissimilar to in the first Die Hard film when the director is telling I'm blanking on his name, who plays Hans Gruber, is like, oh, I'm gonna let you go on 3, but you let him go on 1, you get that shocked expression. Or the director in The Shining with the main female lead, once again blanking on her name, where she get chased, and he did something to kind of frighten her, to get that real scare into her, to really sell it. Sometimes they do things like that to surprise certain actors. They get that realism out of them. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes they kind of go too far, like in The Shining, because I think you look behind the story in that, it does, when I heard that, it's like, yeah, there probably is a bridge too far just to get that realism.
Power in a deal with the devil. Of course, he ends up being the one to cause Padme's death, and in the fallout, Anakin finds himself trapped in a mechanized Iron Maiden that unnaturally sustains his life far beyond what would have been possible if he had been left to die on Mustafar. He is trapped. Learning of Luke Skywalker and meeting him face to face begins to unravel something in Darth Vader. He can see for the first time in decades who he used to be, and it creates conflict that is intensified when Luke starts making active appeals to the lost humanity of Vader.
That name
no longer has any meaning for me.
It is the name of your true self.
Asserting that Anakin Skywalker is alive, and there is good in him. Geenu is in the same trap. He sold his soul to Guima for a life of comfort and wealth, and now has lived for 700 plus years as one of his demon vanguard. You can glean from the movie that he hates Guima, and only loves himself in so much as he's suppressing the memory of his past life. His motivation in K-pop Demon Hunters is to stop the hunters in exchange for Guima wiping away his memories, his shame, so he can at least be unconflicted and comfortable in his eternity of hellish servitude. This is not a luxury ever afforded to Darth Vader. They both serve unhappily and trapped. You have to wonder what Vader is thinking about in all of those images of him staring out into space and watching Luke's torture in Return of the Jedi. He remembers everything and wishes that he didn't. On this channel, I have criticized many times the pitfalls of endless toxic empathy. This is a brand of empathy that overly identifies with the personal pain of evil characters and results in excusing their deeds, and the empathizer losing a sense of clear right and wrong in the process. The correct mode of empathy is what you see in Star Wars numerous times, with its masked dark side characters and the heroes who focus on the human beneath the mask. This is important because people lost in darkness, sin, and cycles of evil often work overtime to shed their past lives and social connections in hopes that they can be unconflicted in their addictions or their crimes. In my book, How the Force Can Fix the World, that's outlined in a chapter on how young gang members in America's most violent prisons are known to bury their past identities and build new ones within the gang, because the trauma and pain they experience is only possible to endure if they are secure in a new identity designed to thrive in that dog-eat-dog environment. That's why Sith must kill their old self. You can't be free within the dark side if you're conflicted or remember who you actually are.
Yeah, man. You see, you've been seeing that a lot in, especially in Disney, in the Disney remakes, where they try to super empathize or overly empathize with like the villain, instead of just letting the villain be the villain. It's okay, you can have a villain with layers to them, but you shouldn't also ignore the fact that, yeah, they still doing something incredibly bad. You can understand Killmonger, motivations, but still not condone how he's going about doing it. But people, like, certain people in these, like, writers' room want to, because they superimpose themselves onto these characters just to, say, what they're doing or how they lived isn't bad. And it's kind of like, I don't know, there's, like, layers to this, but a lot of it is, just over sympathizing or empathizing, or just putting their own, or at least putting their own identities onto particular characters, or writing them self-inserts. That's the word I was looking for. There's too much self-inserts into a lot of these film projects. It's getting kind of annoying and cringy.
Geenu is rocked by the empathy of Rumi in their duet, Free. Even though his intention was to manipulate her and wedge Rumi apart from her bandmates, her recognition of his humanity causes a rupture in his commitment to Guima. He lies to Rumi about his life because he's ashamed of it, as is Darth Vader, who knows good and well that his actions killed the love of his life and he thought an unborn child. He does know that Palpatine manipulated him, but he's powerless in a metal suit to do anything about it. He gives up for a long time and embraces the monster he's become. As Geenu sings in the song Free, positive empathy has this effect on people. You see who they truly are. You tell that person that they've done evil and they can choose to do evil no more. Villains just often convinced themselves
It is too late for me, son.
And that love and hope are extinguished for good. A hero shows them that this is untrue. You can always go home. Redemption is in the cards, and you can't change what happened, but you can change. Genu and Vader both die in essentially the same fashion, as their tormentors and founts of guilt, Guima and Palpatine, attack the person who saw goodness in them. They reassociate with their true self and protect the hero. Vader, his son, and Genu guards Rumi, and they both pay the price accordingly, but it is what truly frees them. Luke wants to save Vader's life, as does Rumi for Genu, but both will die and tell the hero that they are saved already.
I'll not leave you here. I've got to save you.
You already have.
I wanted to set you free.
You did. You gave me my soul back.
Because someone believed in them enough to take a chance on them. Positive empathy can be quite dangerous. It puts your safety on the line to see humanity in a lost soul, and it does not always end well. Toxic empathy, on the other hand, tends to carry no risk to the sympathizer. It's more about stroking their own ego and a need to feel enlightened, like you've eaten from the fruit of the tree of knowledge. Maybe this is why K-pop Demon Hunters has resonated as strongly as it has. The story is familiar. Star Wars told this tale of a spiritual fall and a redemption better than any other modern story, and you'll see it replayed almost beat for beat with Genu and Rumi. Take a risk on people. Believe in the person that they were. Believe in objective good. Communicate that, and you can show people the road away from evil and back to themselves.
Yeah, that's like a perfect comparison. Because Star Wars is like a modern retelling of not only the hero's journey, but a character through their rise and fall, and then rise again through their own character arc. And comparing that to K-pop Demon Hunters, it's like an apt comparison. It's like Genu, yeah, he had he was born poor, just like Anakin was born a slave. He gained power, but let that, the devil pretty much corrupt them, and they end up paying the price for it. But someone coming on and seeing the goodness within their hearts and cultivate that. They don't, Luke nor Yumi condone their actions, but they know that they still have humanity within them to make the necessary change for themselves to do the right thing, which ultimately they usually ends up in like a self-sacrifice moment, because they still done certain atrocities that probably wouldn't I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is a way to write it to make them live. Maybe not Vader, but Genu could probably easily have survived. But it's just smart writing and well-crafted story arcs. Like I said, and there was no condoning their actions, but they had a chance for redemption and doing the right thing. Vader ultimately fulfilled his destiny, because Luke wasn't the one destined to bring balance to the Force. Anakin still was. It was always still going to be Anakin. The only thing is, it took a long time, but eventually he did. Technically, it's just he needed that extra help. It did not help with the fact that how the Jedi Order was so dogmatic, where they didn't have some level of foresight or sympathy, not empathy, but sympathy for the fact that this man lost his mother, couldn't be there for his mother, saw visions and didn't try to work with him on it, but just tell him to kind of put that to the side, and didn't bring him to the Jedi Council because they feared his power or feared that it'll let that corrupt him. All things that Qui-Gon Jinn warned about. because he saw the balance. He wasn't super strict with the Jedi code. He allowed some level of flexibility there. But because the others didn't, aside from maybe Obi-Wan to a certain extent, but because the others didn't, it allowed Palpatine to worm his way in the mind of Anakin to like bring him to the dark side. So perfect storytelling, honestly. Golly, I love these films. But anyway, that was just a quick reaction video I wanted to talk about because I thought it was kind of fun. But I will see you guys in a little bit because I gotta hop into some Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel and some more Digimon tonight. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think of the K-pop Demon Hunters and Star Wars comparison here. And I'll see you all soon. Peace.